Hello, I'm Cynthia Lockhart. I am excited about you coming in to look at my studio and being a part of this art program, and just wonderful to be here. My studio is located in Springfield Township, where in my home. So normally my studio is located on the lower level of my home, the complete lower level of my home. However, in this pandemic, I have had water problems and what have you, and so I am upstairs in my home now with working on my artwork. So what I had downstairs is now upstairs. But very exciting because I love to have fabric, and I love my inspiration and my books and all of my supplies all around me, ready for me to attack a project. I like to have a lot of my fabrics around me, my inspiration around me, and if like right now I'm in the middle of working with a piece that started out with plain muslin here, and this muslin, then I did a pour, a dye, not pour. It's not really a pour when you're putting it on fabrics. So you're really sketching with the paint. And you'll see the various lines, and so I use a Procyon dye for that. And then when the colors interact and mingle, then they create another color. And then here on top, you'll see an applique of some fabric that I haven't applicated yet, but it will be stitched down. And then I'll be adding some other details to it there. And then here goes another piece that at the very bottom, you have a tie-dye effect at the very bottom. And then on top of this, I have done a screen print of a beautiful leaf. And always I try to dream and imagine, and I really never want to duplicate what Mother Nature has made. I want to do my version of it and abstract it, make it move, make it feel, make you look and delve into the work. That's what I like to do. I don't like to replicate, I like to create. If you haven't started doing storyboards, I highly recommend you start. It's just like a sketchbook, only the sketchbook, you're taking it from the sketchbook. You're taking 3D items and you're putting it up on the wall and proposing what it might look like. It really helps to stimulate you and take you from that book format to that sort of panoramic aspect. And it really helps you it helps me to be able to come up with what's the next step. Or if I don't get back to it for months, then one day it'll strike me and I'll go back to it, as opposed to your sketchbooks. I also still sketch in a book, which is great also, but sometimes that one thing that you want to get to, you'll take it out, you'll put it up on the storyboard, and you build. So this is a conglomeration. It's not a complete story that I would do for a particular call. Sometimes I'll do a storyboard for this particular call, and so the imagery is all related to that same subject matter. In terms of the tools that I use, one of the things that I couldn't live without, because I pretty much am a stitcher by machine. I do apply my applique and all of my trims by hand, but the rudimentary work is done on these industrial machines. Now right here, this piece is called the Pandemic Blues. So of course we've all been indoors, and we're all overwhelmed with this COVID and what have you. And I kept saying, I know I'm inspired to do something about COVID, but it didn't hit me yet. I thought it would be when I made the mask, but it didn't happen. But I had this beautiful fabric that I had dyed. It started here with this. And basically I ended up adding extra brush strokes of black on it as well. And then I have these wonderful orbs that I design. I always do these orbs. And so this one was called Pandemic Blues. And blues as in lady sings the blues. We sing the blues about this pandemic. This pandemic has us down, but we're not going to let it keep us down. We're going to stay as up and inspired to live and to walk forward past this pandemic. So that's why I called it the Pandemic Blues, but it has a lot of jazz and a lot of information on here. So if you can see some of these pieces that I've taken beads And I've made little beads with leather trim to attach. That's just the kind of the sparkle, or if you are ever looking at a night horizon, midnight or what have you, you see the twinkling of the stars in the sky. So I use brocades, I've used cowie shelves, I have applicated fabric, and then again my spirals and my circular emblems that I always do. And then this has lots of stitches on it. I don't normally do a lot of stitches, but the pandemic has been such a pain that it just kept me pushing on that machine and pushing on that machine. And also I have a lot of draped items on here. But this one's called Pandemic Blues.